Welcome back to the Moment of Your Career here with Shulker. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 1. After a fantastic Season 2, we've got a lot to get through in this season. And of course, we've got Champions League football. We thought we'd only have the Europa League, but we did make it into the Champions League. So exciting matches coming your way. Of course, if you can hit that like button, that would be much appreciated, as it does help the channel grow and reach new audiences. And before we get into any transfers or the match, of course, we do need to go have a conversation with Matthias Tillman about the expectations here for Season 3. But one of the big news coming out of the preseason here in Season 3 is Yuri's departure from the sporting director, the decision made by Matthias Tillman. Of course, we're going to have a conversation now with him about the expectations here in Season 3 and what was the reason why he has chosen us to take over the recruitment side of things as well as the management on match day. Going through the results of Season 2, it was a bit of a mixed bag through Season 2. Of course, we finished strong. We were looking to be a bit of a mid-table finish for us, but that last couple of months after the recruitment in January really drove it home and got us that 5th position. Of course, that semi-final defeat against Bayern Munich, would have loved to potentially pick up that trophy in Season 2. We've always got that potential here in Season 3. And of course, now we've got the Champions League football as well to compete in. Now, discussing the Yuri departure, that's a big call there by Matthias Tillman. We've been working well with Yuri across the first 2 years. Some great recruitment choices when we put some players to him. So it was a big call made by Matthias Tillman. Of course, he's going to save a bit of money as well, only having one person do the 2 roles. But he's definitely going to be missed, Yuri. I think we worked well together in the first 2 years, and now all eyes are on me to make the right decisions for the right prices. Of course, they need to perform on the field as well, being that the expectations are going to be quite severe here in Season 3. But before we go through that, we've got the Season 2 expectations to go through. Of course, we did achieve most of them apart from the player focus on Sánchez. So that does mean that we get $15 million added into the transfer kitty for this season. Karaman does keep his spot in the cam position, plus we'll get a 2-star recruitment in the coaching. And we do also get that 20% off German players if we do make some transfers here in the transfer window. We've got 5 new expectations here, 1 for the Bundesliga, 1 for the Champions League. We've got the squad evaluation and then 2 player focus. We'll go through them now. So the first one is the Bundesliga, finish top 6 as a bare minimum. If we do achieve that, we get $5 million added to the transfer kitty. If we finish top 3, we'll get an additional $5 million. The consequences, though, is a mandatory sale of 2 senior players, the highest earners in the summer. Next up, we've got Champions League group stage qualification. We achieve that, we get immediate $3 million added to the transfer kitty, plus hiring a 5-star coach in any of the categories, which will be great for our young squad. Looking at the next one, we've got squad evolution, no passenger policy. So any 2 of the underperforming players must be moved on in the winter transfer window. And if we do that, we unlock 100% of the transfer revenue as bonus into the transfer kitty. Next up, we've got the player focus on Arana Kuna. He needs to contribute to 25 goals across all competition and have a match rating of 8 at the end of the season. If he does that, he cements himself as our number 8 long-term here at Schalke, and we've got some great bonuses with that one. Last but not least, we've got Segan, our number 1 CDM. He needs to play 25 matches this season while maintaining a 7 match rating with 5 goal contributions across the season. He is our preferred number 1 CDM, but he is aging, so he needs to perform here in Season 3. So that will be the expectations here in Season 3. We've got a lot to play for, and we're going to head over now to have a conversation with our captain, Karaman. He had a great season last season, but of course did get hit with the injury bug once again. He was out for 3 months in the first season, and of course in the second season he did suffer another injury. We were able to backfill it with some of the young talent that we're bringing through the squad, but it is a concern going here in Season 3 that he is aging at the moment. He is in his early 30s. Obviously, when he is on the field, he's playing fantastic football and contributes well for the squad. But the concern is if he misses more football, he's a vital piece to the puzzle for us to compete at a high level. And we want to try and keep him rested, make sure he's fit and ready to go for those tough opponents throughout the course of this calendar, being that we've got the DFB Pokal, we've got Champions League, and of course, we've got the Bundesliga as well. Now, talking about the depth of the squad, we did see the rise of Alex Dennis in Season 2 coming across in January, and then we do have Appel Camp as well coming in January as well. Played well in that left midfield position, and of course, Alex Dennis taken over that right midfield position from the January and beyond. Of course, the great news is Graham is happy with that strategy. He understands where we sit, and he does know that he is getting older, so he will need to be rested in some games throughout here in Season 3. But looking at the squad, we talked about where we were sitting last season. We went with the 3-5-2 formation. However, we did struggle defensively, especially on the counter-attack. So this season, we will go with the 4-2-3-1 formation. So 4 at the back, 2 centre defensive mid, 3 cams, and then a striker up front. This is our current starting lineup. We've got a Ranakuna up front in the striker position. Of course, our player of the season last season. We've got the captain Karaman. We've got Appel Kemp, our new recruit, moving into the cam position. And then we've got Napan as well, the 19-year-old who had a phenomenal first season with us. Looking at the centre defensive mids, we've got Segan, 31 years of age at the moment. He is our number 1 in the centre defensive mid, and then he's backed up with Schallenberg on the left-hand side. Now, one of the positions that I do think we need to recruit for here in August is the left-back position currently held by Ita. We've got Sánchez in the centre-back position, 22 years of age, and he will be partnered with Vashkovic, the 19-year-old. Great first season with us. Hopefully he can have a strong season too. And then the other position I do think we need to look at is the right back position, currently held by Aiden. He does play in the right mid as well, but I do think it's a position that we need to look at potentially upgrading here in the first transfer window. We've got Hikaru in between the posts, and then on the bench, we've got Hamachi, who's fighting for that backup number 9 position. We've got Attic at the moment. He is one of our rotational cams. We've got, of course, Alex Dennis, who played right mid, but his preferred position was the cam. We've got Frank, who is potential youth academy graduate that could perform in that cam position. We've got Gaye, unfortunately hit with injury after a strong first couple of matches. And then we've got the 3 centre-backs, Bell, Wazinski, and Kleinbeckel. Bell will potentially depart with, being that we do need to let one of the centre-backs go. Wazinski's coming back from loan, and then Kleinbeckel joined us in January and had a great back half of the season. Now, being that I'm now the person looking after recruitment, 2 of the positions is a left back and right back, and Gunther looks like a potential up-and-coming player. And then we could look at the experience of Wolf on the right-hand side. They're both from the same club, so we will evaluate, are they vital to the squad's performance? And looking at the stats and where they currently sit on the pecking order. And both Wolf and Gunther both sit down on third string for that one. So we'll potentially look to see if we can recruit both of these players, obviously play on both sides of the field. And we could potentially get them for a bargain and still keep some money in the kitty. So first off, we'll see if we can get 3 million here for Wolf. They want to see if potentially sell-on clause with a 3.1. Of course, we do not like the sell-on clause add-ons. So we'll look to agree to that 3.1 without the sell-on clause. And they do agree to terms. So the first one's underway. Now we've got Gunther. Potential market value of 3.5 million. I'd love to get him under 3 million. But of course, if we need to go a little bit higher, we will. They're going back with the sell-on clause. We definitely do not want to be giving him 14% of his value if we do move him on. So we will look to go that 3 million and see if we can get it over the line with that one. Hopefully we do, because if we can get them both over the line, we've only used 6 million out of that 15 million kitty that we do have. And of course, we'll look to potentially let some players depart here in Season 3 as well. So first off, we need to get the contract sorted here for Wolf. He's looking at around 22,000 with a 230k signing bonus. Of course, we don't really want to be paying players too much more than 20k, being that we want to try and keep it within the budget and not exceed too many wages. So we will go back here. Tension is high. We'll see if we can get it over the line. They want 22. Of course, we're going to fight hard here and try and get that 20k with a 230k signing bonus. He's 3 years as well, 31 years of age, and he has agreed to terms. So Wolf will be joining us here in Season 3. I think it adds experience to that right-hand side. Now that we're going with that fullback, we've got 22-year-old and a 19-year-old in the centre-back position. And I think that little bit of experience on that right-hand side will be vital for those two guys, combining well, hopefully, with the defensive setup, and we can try and keep some clean sheets here in Season 3. So transfer has gone through, 3.1 million, and it only cost us 20k per week. Next up, we've got Gunther, the young 23-year-old left back, currently 72 overall, plenty of potential. We're going to look to get him on a 4-year deal, and then we'll look to see if we can get him for around 12,500 with the 200k signing bonus. Now, he wants a little bit more. If he gets 15 appearances, he wants 210k. He wants 13k weekly wage. I could be penny pinching a little bit and try to drop it back down to 12.5, but I think we're happy with that 13k. So Gunther will be joining us as well on a 4-year deal, and I think that's two great recruits for the left and right back position, both coming from the same club as well. And hopefully Augsburg can use the money to potentially look to recruit some other players to help them on their campaign to potentially push up into the League One of the Bundesliga. So we add some youth to the left-hand side. We've got some experience, veteran experience on the right-hand side, and we still have 9 million left in the kitty. Both of them are signed, 3 years for Wolf, 4 years for Gunther. I think are great additions to the squad. We'll look to work on his wing-back performance and try to boost that up a little bit. It's currently at 64 overall. And then if we're looking at Wolf as well, I think a 75 overall, 31-year-old, we're going to get a good couple of years out of him, and I think a great signing there. He can combine well with Napan down the right-hand side. So this is how the squad looks like with the two new recruits. We've got Gunther on the left-hand side, Wolf on the right, and they will be partnered with Sánchez and Vaskovic. Now, just when you think you got your squad all set and sorted for the season, a release clause has been triggered here for Vaskovic. He's $11 million release clause. So we need to have a conversation now with his agent and Vaskovic and see if we can potentially re-sign him to a new deal, show him that we want him to stay with the club, being that I believe he's a vital piece to the puzzle to make sure that we are successful. This would be definitely a sad departure to start the season. Only 19 years of age. We got him on a great deal to start Season 2, and he was a vital piece for us throughout the season. Of course, with the injury to Sánchez, Kleinbeckel coming in, we were a little bit disrupted with Ida as well as Schallenberg moving into that centre-back position. But Vaskovic was definitely a pillar of strength for us in Season 2. And hopefully we can continue with that for many years to come. So we're going to plead our case here. We believe he's a top defender, and he's only going to get better and better with age. So we'll potentially look to secure a new deal with him today, but it's ultimately up to him to decide what he wants to do. The ball's in his court, and the great news for us is he's happy with the club and where he's at the moment. And if the deal is right, he's happy to sign a new deal and remain at Schalke for many years to come. So let's see if we can get this deal underway. We obviously have him for almost 4 years there at the moment. We'll look for a 2-year extension, and we'll look to bump up his wage from 12,000 to 17.5, and we'll throw in a signing bonus of 200k. And the great news is he does agree to terms. I think that's an absolute bargain for Vaskovic. There's no doubt that we're potentially going to have to renew his contract or bump him up or upgrade his contract in the next couple of years. But for now, it's only going to cost us 17,500, and we've got him secured for 6 years here at Schalke. Talking about transfers, though, we do have some news about some players that will be departing on loan here in the first transfer window. Berger is one of those guys who'll be going out for 12 months on loan here in Season 3. We've got Gruger going back to St. Pauli for 2 years on loan with the potential to buy. We've got Moring going for 12 months as well, so one of the Youth Academy graduates. We've got Evers as well going for 12 months to Magdeburg. Now, one of the first transfers out is Arias for 700k, which I think is a great deal for us. We weren't going to utilise him in Season 3. We've got Baykirk going for a 12-month loan as well to Paderborn. And of course, we've got another transfer here for 640k. So we get roughly about 1.2 million there. We've got Patrick Frank going for 12 months as well on loan. So we will need to potentially reshuffle our starting lineup or our first team lineup. And then last but not least, we've got Obi Menesh going for a 2-year deal as well. Now, talking about transfers, we need to have a conversation with Yunus. We had a great season with him in Season 1, but Season 2, we did not give him a lot of football. being that unfortunately he did underperform early on in the season. He is aging at the moment at 33 years of age. So we need to have an honest conversation with him today to potentially discuss, do we transfer him here in the August transfer window, or is he happy to remain as a potential to get minutes with us, being that we can't guarantee anything with the game times at the moment, especially with the players in front of him. So at the moment, he feels physically good that he could potentially put some minutes in, and he's frustrated with the match times that he did get in Season 2. And it's clear that he wants the minutes, and we potentially just can't give that to him. So we have had an offer come in from FC Basel as well that potentially will pick up his services here in Season 3. He's disappointed with that decision. He believes he could contribute more to the squad, but he wants the game time being he's 33 years of age. And unfortunately, we just can't give it to him. So his agent will have conversations, see if they can get a deal done. And it could be that Yunus does depart here in Season 3. Now, it doesn't take long for the headlines to hit the internet. And there is already news out there that he will be departing here for a $1.4 million deal. And Yunus and his agent have agreed to terms. So that will be the case. And he will be departing. So some healthy funds added to the kitty on that one. Now, the big news as well, they just keep on coming. Man United and Chelsea want to pick up Aranakuna, but we got a text message straight away from the striker saying no deal. He wants to stay at Schalke and he's committed to the club here in Season 3, which is fantastic for us, being that he is our number one striker and we've got a lot riding on his performance here across the season. Now, we did discuss potential preseason matches, and that is because we need to give a couple of players opportunity to showcase what they can do. And those two players will be Hamachi and Højlund, both of them quite young still, which is fantastic for us. Hamachi playing that left midfield position, can play cam as well, but the passing is what's letting him down with the quality of play that he's kind of produced over the first two seasons. We've moved him into the striker position. We've decided to keep him for another season here to potentially see what his development is in that striker position. But it really is up to him. His attributes, the things that he has going for him is his pace and his agility. His passing's not there, but now that he's in the striker position, we can hopefully unlock that potential he showed glimpse of throughout Season 1 and 2. Next up, we've got Højlund. Both of them hopefully are up for the challenge here. That's what we want to see from the young players coming through the squad. So we'll see if he's up for the challenge here, but he has had a strong first season with this. We decided to send him away on loan in the second season to further develop his skill set because you'll get a little bit more minutes, and hopefully he comes back here in Season 3 and potentially just takes that next level, and that's what we're kind of looking for in that backup. He's a tall guy, 6'4". He's a strong player. He doesn't have the pace that Hamachi has, but his attributes are he's strong on the ball and can work his way around defenders. So hopefully it's a good battle between the two. They both get equal minutes. So it's really up to them to showcase what they can do here. So we're going to jump into the first match here. It is going to be the quick highlight. So throughout this series, we're going to do a couple of quick highlight matches, and that'll be through each episode. And of course, we still got the core main gameplay matches as well, and that will be a main feature throughout the episodes. But in this one, first match will be the quick highlights, and this is how we go in the first matchup. The conditions are not favourable here for attacking football, but it is our first match here of Season 3. I hope you do enjoy. Would love to get a win in our first match. Kickoff underway. And Amachi pushing down here, trying to get aggressive in the first play there. Gay is playing in that centre defensive mid position with Segan in this matchup as well. Wolf out here on the right-hand side. His first defensive display there. Nice little steal. And he pushes it down to Napan on the right-hand side. A long ball down to Hamachi, centre field. He's got two defenders. Pushes on the inside shot. But he hits the left post. A real chance to open it up 6 minutes in. And Gunther back here to Segan. Down here to Napan. Beautiful ball through here to Karaman. Shot. And he pushes it left. A little bit rusty here early on. But a couple of warning shots there. Hamachi with a real chance hitting that left post. Of course, Karaman back from injury. Did return in the last match of Season 2. But he did come off the bench. Wazinski in the back line up here with Vashkovic. Saved there by Higuain. Sliding defence there. But unfortunately, Gunther unable to get a foot in there. Higuain with the ricocheted. Was unable to get secured hands on it. Vashkovic unfortunately gets beat on that play as well. And unfortunately, first goal we do concede. 34 minutes in here now, corner. Ball centre field here. Napan with the block. Great defensive play there by the cam. Karaman trying to push out there. Probably should have tried to get the pass away. Ball centre field there. Hickerin with the save. And Wolf just needs to clear it out here. Gets it down here to Vashkovic. Tries to push it back centre field. That was not the play. Oh, Hickerin with another save. Now poor passing continues out of the backfield. We're just putting ourselves in all sorts of positions to potentially concede. And Gunther clears the ball out here to Appelkamp. Great ball through here to Karaman. He's got Hamachi running a great line here. Pushing centre field. He's got defender behind him. Oh, and he pushes it right. Are you kidding me? Hamachi with a real chance there before the halftime break to potentially level it all up. Gunther tries to get a pass through. Wasn't the cleanest pass. Segan pushing centre field. Great ball down into the box. And Hamachi finally puts it into the net 3 minutes before or after the halftime siren. And we're all tied up with a great pass there from Segan. Playing that deep line playmaker in that centre defensive mid position. He gets a great ball down here to Hamachi in the box. And he's able to put it in the net for the first here. Gahey with the ball. 58 minutes in here. Segan pushes it down here to Wolf. Centre field. Gets a ball through here to Karaman. Great pass there from Wolf. A great assist from that right back position. And Karaman pushing up in the cam position. Supporting Hamachi. And we get that 1 point advantage. Pushing up here. Defenders behind him. Keeper coming out. And a great play there from the captain. Final moments here. 85 minutes in. We're up by 1. Segan needing to slide across. Great defensive play. Gets the ball here to Napan. Great ball down Hamachi. Sets it. A real chance to put a nail in the coffin. And Hamachi pushes it left. Some real chances for Hamachi in this match. Just hasn't been able to execute on it. Napan pushing it down. Aiden pushes it centre field. And that should be it. Final moments here. Whistle goes. We do pick up the victory with a strong performance in the second half. We'll have a look at the match stats to see how the plays went in this first matchup. Of course, looking at the match facts, we had a 49-51 split on possession, 8 attempts to 9. Hamachi was our man of the match with a 9.5, Karaman with a 9.4, Segan with a 9, Napan with an 8.6, and then we've got Wolf with an 8.4. Strong performances there from Hickerin between the posts. Wazinski was solid with a 7.7. Appelkamp was also solid in the cam position. Vashkovic with a 7.5. And then we've got the guys that come off the bench with a 6.9 and a 6.4. A little bit disappointing there for Gahey. He did play the whole match and he only got a rating of a 6.3. Heading into the second match of this one will be against none other than Southampton. They're currently a Premier League squad. So a tough opponent here to give both players an opportunity to showcase what they got and what they can do. Hamachi will play the first half, and then at the halftime break, we will switch it out with Hoyland coming off the bench in this one. So they'll both get the full 45 minutes each, and then Hoyland will get the third match to showcase what he can do. Hamachi, a pretty good first match, so it's about consistency here in the second. That's what he's been struggling with throughout the first couple of seasons, is the consistency. So a big 45 minutes for him. Of course, Southampton, they're not the top Premier League squad, but they are a Premier League squad and we need to be wary of that. Chip centre field here. Cut off there by Wolf. Pushing centre field down to Karaman. Trying to get the ball through here to Marchi. He's in the box. And he goes straight at the keeper on that one. Unable to curl it. And Southampton clear it out here 4 minutes in. That would have been a great goal. A little combination with Karaman. Appelkamp trying to put some pressure on there. Hamachi looking to do the same. But it's cleared out there by Southampton. 15 minutes in here now. Pelkamp needs to slide across to the left-hand side. Back centre field here. Gunther sliding. Looking to potentially put some pressure on there. Vuskovic tries to get the steal there, but it's play on Southampton. And Southampton score the first, but it's a potential offside here. It is. Flag is up. And it's half a boot on that one. A real lucky escape for us. So it remains 0-0. Gunther trying to push down here. Sánchez looking to keep him inside the box. Nice defensive play. Gets the ball down here to Schellenberg. Pushing left-hand side down to Pelkamp. He's got Karaman centre field. Great pass through here. Gets on the outside. Looking to get it through. Oh, the ricochet back to the captain. 26 minutes in. Potential broken down play there. He does get on the outside. Hits it with enough power. It ricochets off the keeper's hands. And we get the first there. 28 minutes. Gunther with it at the moment. Down the left-hand side. Pushes centre field to Segan. Long ball across there. Wasn't the best pass. Wolf trying to push up. Needed to probably stay back there. Vuskovic sliding across. Gets wrong-footed on that play. Sánchez needs to get across here. Gave too much space. And Southampton bounce back 33 minutes in. And unfortunately, Sánchez just trying to cover too much. Looking to potentially cut off the pass back into the inside the box. Gives him the touchline. And he just hits it with absolute accuracy past the keeper's hands. Higuain unable to get a finger to it. Napan pushing the ball down here to Højlund into the box. Shot opportunity there, but blocked. We did do the switch out here at the halftime break. Højlund coming on for his 45-minute stint. We're currently all tied up here with Southampton. 54 minutes in. Nice steal there by Wolf. Pushing it down the right-hand side onto Napan. It's got Karaman on the inside. Finds him. Højlund running a nice line. Great ball down to him. Uses his strength. Ball back on the inside to Karaman. Saved there by Ramsdale once again. Strong between the posts. Good steal here. 69 minutes in by Sánchez. Down to Pelkamp. Højlund. Onto Karaman. Beats the defender. Shot. But he pushes it wide right. Wolf pushing in. Great defence. Segan to Gay. Bit scrappy here, but the ball pops out to Segan. Down to Karaman here. Højlund. Pushing around. Uses the strength. Gets on the outside. And there you have it. Our second of the match. Højlund showing the strength to get around the defender. Bit scrappy in the middle of the field. But the ball spits out. Goes down to the captain, Karaman. We still have plenty of work to do there, Højlund. And he hits it with absolute power there. Past Ramsdale. Doesn't get a hand to it. And it puts the lead up 2-1 here against Southampton. Final 4 minutes here. Segan pushing down. Wasn't the best defensive attempt there. Nice save there by Higuain. Gunther pushing it out to Wolf. Right-hand side. Final moments here. Down to Napan. We should be able to run out the clock and pick up another victory. And we do so. A good performance in the second half. We're able to get that 2-1 advantage and maintain it through the 90 minutes. Looking at performance-wise, it was a bit of a hit and miss in the first half, but it was a 57-43 split on possession, 6 goal attempts to 2. And looking at the results between Højlund and Hamachi, stand out Højlund in the second half, a 9.7, Hamachi with a 5.5. The captain, Karaman, was 10 out of 10 with a goal and an assist. A strong performance as well by Wolf with an 8.4 as well. So overall, a solid performance. Højlund could not have a better start to his campaign to push for that backup. So we'll see how he plays in the third match here in this episode. Before we get into that one, we do have news of a release clause being activated for Sánchez. Obviously, he's been a vital player for us through the first 2 seasons. Got hit with the injuries last season and unfortunately didn't hit that player focus. But I still see him as a valuable player in this squad, especially with the partnership that he's creating with Vuskovic in that centre-back position. Of course, we definitely don't want to lose him. We do have some backups with Wazinski and Kleinbeckel, but Sánchez and Vaškovic is a combination I think can potentially take us to the top to put some silverware into the cabinet. But it is up to Sánchez and his agent here to determine if they do want to stay with us. So the ball is in his court. He needs to decide. Of course, he's disappointed that he didn't hit the goals that he set out in Season 2 with the expectations, but he's excited for the future. So that's great for us. We'll see if we can potentially get a deal sorted for him here today, and then we can lock him up and make sure he is at Schalke for another couple of years. At the moment, still 2 years left on this contract. We'll look to potentially add another 3 years to it, so that will be a 5-year contract. He's currently on 8,000 wage, so we'll look to potentially top that up to 13,000 with a signing bonus of 115k and then clean sheet bonus as well. That was the offer or the suggestion, what they wanted, and I'm happy to accept because I think that's a fantastic deal for us, and we've got a very much a strong centre-back remaining at the club for 13k, which is a fantastic win for Schalke. Now, looking at where we sit in the preseason, we're currently tied in first place at the moment. We're going into the final match of the 3 matches. Hopefully we can get a big win here today and we can potentially pick up that trophy and some much needed funds into the budget and the kitty. This one is the game highlight match. So this one's more of the feature matches I talked about earlier. So throughout the episodes in the series, we'll have those quick highlight matches, and then this one will be a little bit more coverage of the gameplay. So we're going to jump into this one. It's great weather for football. We're currently at Old Trafford as well. Conditions are favourable, as mentioned, for attacking football, and hopefully we can put in a good performance here with Højlund getting that opportunity across the 90 minutes. It's about consistency. We talked about that with Hamachi. He had a strong first match. Unfortunately, first half wasn't the best for him. Højlund in reverse, great 45 minutes, and now in this match, it's about making sure he can produce over a 90-minute window here. Wolf with a nice defensive play there. Segan pushing it down to Dennis. And it looks to be a free kick here. Potential early card. But as mentioned in with Højlund, we'll go back to that one. Basically, that first 45 minutes of this preseason for him was solid. He ran some great lines, some decent passes through to the cams where needed. So this one's just about consistency, use his strength, which is his strength, and obviously the size of him as well. 6'4", Karaman with the ball at the moment. Down to Højlund inside the box, one-on-one with the keeper. And that is how you want to do it. Some of the things that was missing in the first match with Hamachi when he had those opportunities, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He pushed it left and right. But with Højlund here, he sinks it. We're up by 1. Great pass there by the captain, Karaman. Puts it in front of Højlund. And he just finds the left-hand side past the keeper. Final moments here of the first half. Højlund pushing across here, left-hand side. Great defensive play there by the striker. Karaman with the ball. Again, a great pass, centre field here. Out to Dennis. Onto Napan. Into the box here. Højlund underneath. And could be a potential offside. No, it's a penalty inside the box. From first glance, it didn't look like he actually touched him in the box there, but the ref saw something. And I think I need to go to Specsavers because I can't see it on that one. But we've got an opportunity to get a 2-point advantage before the halftime break. And Karaman seals it. A little bit disappointing there for the defender. Doesn't look like he touches Højlund, but the referee calls it. We got the opportunity to get that 2-point advantage, and Karaman delivers just before the halftime break. A strong first half. Of course, that first 38 minutes was a defensive battle, but we're able to produce 2 goals in the final 5 minutes. And hopefully we can maintain that lead here in the second half. Dennis pushing down centre field onto Sánchez. Going to get down here. Segan, centre field here. Gunther pushing in as well. Gets on the outside defender. Shot opportunity for his first. But unfortunately hits that left-hand post. Rahman pushing back, trying to get back defensively. Schallenberg sliding across here. Great defensive play there. Puts pressure on. Comes back here. Once again gets a steal. Wasn't the best pass. Down to Napan. He gets the steal though. Slows the play down, finds Højlund, one-on-one once again with the keeper, and he sinks it for his second. A great defensive play there by Schallenberg. Napan as well, getting the quick steal after the poor pass. Slows the play down there for Højlund to run onto it. And the defender on the inside. But you're not going to stop Højlund from there. Schallenberg trying to get the ball there. Unfortunately, stolen away. Sánchez sliding across here. Chip. And Sánchez taps it down. Sorry, Schallenberg taps it down. Gunther with a bit of pace here, left-hand side. Great long ball down to Højlund. Does he have the pace to go on the outside? The defender, he doesn't. Slows the play back down onto Gunther. Oh, beautiful pass through to Napan. And Højlund combines with Gunther. And then Napan finding himself inside the box there for a pass back. A great little combination there from Gunther in that left back position, pushing down, supporting the attackers up front. And that's what you want to see from your cam. Getting inside the box. 68 minutes. We're up by 4. Nice defensive pressure here by Schallenberg. Great defense play there. Pushes down Højlund. Taps it on here to Dennis, pushing centre field. Oh, beautiful ball run in here. That's what you want to see from the young kid. He gets his opportunity in this third match. He's knocking on the door at the moment to get into the starting first team. Appel Kemp, Napan, Karaman need to bring their A game week in, week out if they want to retain that spot, because this kid has come to play and he wants to be playing more often, that's for sure. Final moments here. We're up by 5 at the moment. A great victory here. Should cement our victory for the trophy as well as that prize money. Ball into the box here and off that post. And this should be the end of the match. A great victory. Solid performance. Surely a 10 out of 10 performance by Højlund. A strong 3 matches for us. 3 victories here in the preseason. So set for a good start to season 3. Overall, happy with the squad performance. Gunther and Wolf starting to gel in that back line. And then with that 3 cam option with Appel Kemp, Napan, Karaman has been solid. But as mentioned, you got Dennis as well knocking on the door. He wants that starting spot in the cam position in the first team. 10 out of 10 performance by Højlund. Karaman, 10 out of 10 with 1 goal, 1 assist. Dennis as well, 10 out of 10 with the 1 goal. And then you got Napan with a 9.8 with 1 goal and 1 assist. Gunther, a 9.7, a strong performance in that left back position. Schallenberg as well, strong centre field defensively. Sánchez, great in the back line. And then Hicker in between the posts with an 8.1. Wolf, solid on the right-hand side. Vuskovic as well on the right-hand side. And then you got Segan midfield as well. As mentioned, some solid victories across the preseason, which means we do win the tournament there and we get a 3-point clearance from Sunderland. So a strong performance throughout. In the next episode, we've got 2 big matches, of course, with the season opener, but we've still got the transfer window open. And I think we need to potentially look to sign 1 or 2 more players to get ourselves ready for that season opener. Now, of course, your feedback is important, so let me know if you did enjoy the new formation, obviously with the player conversations added into the series. I'd love to know your comments below, so let me know what your thoughts were of this episode. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you do hit that like button, as it does help the channel grow and reach new audiences. Of course, if you missed any of this series so far, at the end of this episode will be the playlist. And if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to catch up on all the latest. Once again, appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.